सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Happy New Year 2020. For the message for this new year, we have selected a passage from the Yoga Shastra, a sutra or aphorism of Yoga Shastra, which says, Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekshanam, Sukhadukha, Punya Papa Vishanam, Bhavanataha, Chitta Prasadaha. How to attain Chitta Prasadaha? The cheerfulness of the mind. How to keep our mind cheerful while interacting with different people in our day-to-day transactions. So Yoga Shastra identifies 4 kinds of people. Punya, Papa, Sukha, Dukkha, Punya, Papa. Means people are sukhi, happy, successful. Then Dukkha, people are unhappy, unsuccessful. Punya, people are virtuous, abiding in dharma, virtuosity. And Papa, people who are sinful, meaning that those who are impure in mind, having negative tendencies. These are the 4 kinds of people that we come across in our day-to-day interactions. And each one of them can create a disturbance in my mind. In fact, people simply trigger what is already in me, the kind of tendencies that are already stored in my mind that triggered when I come across a given person. So, take the first person, Sukha or Sukhi. A person is, I come across a happy person, a successful person, a person who, in my opinion, is more successful, more accomplished, ahead of me. We come across these persons. So usually that creates in me jealousy, because it reminds me of what I could not accomplish, and therefore I become jealous of that person. That jealousy is the sign of pain or sorrow. Therefore, this Yoga Sutra says, Maitri, the person who is better than me, more accomplished than me, seems happy, successful. Rather than feeling jealous of that person, create a bhavana or create an attitude of friendliness. Why friendliness? Because if my dear friend is successful, I do not feel jealous. When somebody share in their joy. If my son is successful, I share in the joy. If my dear friend is successful, I share in the joy. So Yoga Shastra says, look upon this person as a dear friend. In that case, you will share in the joy rather than feeling jealous of that person. Thus turning around our mind from looking upon that person as someone different from me or unconnected to me, I look upon that person as dear to me. In that case, I will share in the joy. I congratulate that person, share in the joy. My mind becomes happy. Second person is dukkhi, unhappy person. People who are unsuccessful, unhappy, those who feel they have not accomplished anything. Very normally, when I come across a person like that, it triggers the pride in me that I am something. Because it is our nature always to compare. So when I compare myself with a successful person, the unsuccessful in me comes out and feels jealous. When I look at an unsuccessful person, then a successful person comes out in me and becomes proud. That pride also is only a disturbance in the mind. And therefore, look at that person. Look down upon that person. When people are not as good as us, inferior to us, we look down upon them. Don't look down upon that person. Understand the person, have sympathy. Recognize that that person did not have the same opportunities that I had, maybe not as gifted as I am, does not have the same advantages I possess. Therefore, there is no reason for me to take credit for what my accomplishments are. In fact, there should be humility in me, in which case I will also be sympathetic to that person, accept that person, embrace that person. And that's how my mind becomes happy. Third is called punya. Punya means the punyavan, a person who is virtuous, who is recognized by the society as a virtuous person. And when I come across these people also, then I cannot stand them also. Because when I see virtue in that person, it reminds me of my shortcomings, of what papas I am performing, what virtues I am missing. Kimaham sadhuna karvam, kimaham papam karamiti. Oh, how come I fail to perform that punya karma? How come I perform that papa karma? This kind of santapa arises in my mind when I look at a virtuous person. It's amazing. Then says that no, have the mudita. Congratulate that person. Be happy with that person. That he is what I like to be. I also like to be virtuous. If I have value for virtue, and I see a virtuous person, then I feel happy about that person and recognize that he already possesses what I like to, so I should get inspiration from that person. Rather than doing myself, I get inspiration from that person. And enthusiasm would become like that. And that's how that self-condemnation goes away. And I have a positive attitude of growing, doing something better. That's how the mind becomes happy. And a fourth person is papi, or let us say an evil-minded person who may be entertaining evil thoughts towards me. He may hate me, dislike me, may be inimical to me, adversary to me. My usual response is to retaliate. If he hates me, then I also hate. If he wants to hurt me, I also want to hurt. So in all the impulsive one-step responses. In this case, Yoga Shastra recommends a two-step response. Not retaliate. Upeksha. Be indifferent to that person. Leave him alone. Give that the person the freedom to be what that person is. All right, he hates me. That is his or her perspective. Identify his view. the reason why I retaliate is I judge myself based on that person's view. That when he hates me, sometimes it happens to me that I'm really hateable, which I don't want to be. Be indifferent. Do not identify with that person, meaning that do not judge yourself based on the views of that person. Let that person have the views of that person. We give us the freedom to that person to be what that person wants to be, and I do not identify with the views, do not judge myself by those views, and that way I can maintain an objective distance between that person and myself, so that these tendencies of retaliation will not arise in me. Because a retaliating tendency also creates naturally the agitation in my mind. So upeksha. Maitri, friendliness. Sharing the joy of a person who is happy, is successful. Karuna is sympathy for the person who is not successful, not looking down upon that person, not feeling proud, but be sympathetic and wishing him well. Mudita, when I see a person who I like to be a virtuous person, then rather than pulling down that person, normally we criticize them. I think it's all hypocrisy. Nobody is good these days. Like this, I want to dismiss that person and I want to pull him down to my level. I don't have to grow. Says no. I respect that person, recognize the accomplishment and virtue of that person, get inspiration from that person, and get also enthusiasm to become like that person. And fourth is that person who has this negativity towards me, I remain indifferent, meaning that retain an objective distance with that person so that I am not affected by the negativities of the person. So it doesn't create negativity in me. So this way, bhavanatah chitta prasadaha, by deliberately maintaining these bhavanas or attitudes, chitta prasadaha, the cheerfulness of the mind is maintained. So how to maintain? And in our day-to-day life, a very beautiful instruction given by the Yoga Shastra, which I want to share with you and pray to the Lord and to our teacher that you are inspired to maintain these attitudes in your day-to-day life. What is first required is to be alert as to what kind of thought is arising in my mind when I meet a certain person. And when I find that that thought is negative, then I should be ready to neutralize it by this bhavana or the attitudes that are stated here. So identifying a person, identifying the vritti or the thought in my mind, and neutralizing the thought and making my mind calm or cheerful, that is a process that should ideally go on constantly. In that sense, our vyavahara or day-to-day interaction also becomes a means of our emotional maturity. Emotionally mature person is a cheerful person. So how to make the vyavahara also yoga, a means of our spiritual growth. So may the Lord give you the insight, the strength, and the viveka or discrimination to do this, and may you enjoy this year 2020 happily, cheerfully. Hari Om.